Hey guys, and welcome back to the fourth and final installment of my top 10 figures of 2021. So, this is the action figures. These are not 1/6 scale. They are not robots, so like no Transformers or Gundam or anything. And they were released in the year 2021. If you want to see the robots, check out part 2. If you want to see the 1/6 scale, check out part 1. And if you want to see the figures that were not released in the year, check out part 3. But this is part 4. This is basically the main thing that a lot of people want to see, the top 10 action figures. And this is a really weird list. This will probably really show my bias towards 3 3/4 inch action figures because that's kind of my thing. I'm not a 6-inch collector. I'm not gonna have the same list of like, oh yeah, I really love this Marvel Legend and that Marvel Legend and this and that. There's a couple Marvel Legends on here, but I'm not big into the 6-inch stuff. But number 10 is this, the Galaxy of Adventures Clone Trooper. And you may be wondering, why is this guy on your top 10 list? Well, let me tell you, he's just really fun. It's a really simplistic kind of figure, It's 5 inches, it's fun, it's posable. Real shame that this never made it to retail stores. I don't know what Hasbro was thinking putting out their best figures from this line, online exclusive. I guess they think that Clone Troopers don't sell well at retail, even though apparently Rey and Finn and C-3PO, everyone needs a C-3PO. But a nice Clone Trooper like this, nah, kids don't want this. Man, it's funny. It's some funny stuff. But you know what? It's all good. It's all good. So there he is, number 10. He's pretty neat. Number 9, it's kind of surprising. His fellow buddies made it pretty high on their respective lists. But for me, once you get a third one, they're pretty similar. It's not really anything too new at this point, but it's still super awesome. Number 9 goes to the Red Shield Knight from Mythic Legions. It's kind of funny. I actually was thinking, was this a pickup of the year? Did this come out in the year? And I was really confused in my top 10 pickups video, thinking it should have been on that list, even though he actually did come out in 2021. Yeah, man, this guy's awesome. Sure, it's basically the exact same figure I already have a couple times over. It does have a few new pieces, though, which I really appreciate. But overall, it's same feel as like Pixis and my Templar Knight, so it doesn't really do anything super new. And I like, kind of new action figures in my collection, things that feel different, that innovate. But I still really like this. It's still definitely worthy of being on the top 10 list for me, 100%. Next up, this one's going to be a little controversial because a lot of people don't like this. For whatever reason, a lot of people don't really like the new G.I. Joe retro figures. But for whatever reason, it's one of my favorites. So it's really posable. In my opinion, it's really durable. I know some people have had issues with breakages and all that. I really like how the articulation works, even though I understand some people really don't like the plastic ball joints on the hips. I have not had any issue with those. I really like them. Yeah, and this is my favorite Cobra Trooper figure. It's nice. 3 3/4 inch. The classified one's amazing. It's kind of hard to even compare them. But yeah, man, really like the retro Cobra Trooper. I was kind of tempted to build an army, but I just got 2, and I'm pretty happy with that. If you want more details and more thoughts on my thoughts on that figure, it is my figure, technically. I did a review on him and the officer version. Next up, this one. Oh, man, this one's kind of iffy. It's kind of surprising that it's this low on the list, even though I actually really like it. I don't know, it just didn't do too much for me when I finally got it. Vintage Collection Boba Fett. I really like this figure, I really do. Is it the best Boba Hasbro's done in 3 3/4 inch? Of course it is, it's great. But I don't know, man, it didn't click for me too much. I don't know why. It just didn't. It's really great, don't get me wrong. Like, it's definitely a top 10 figure for me. I love it. But I expected to love it, if that makes any sense. I expected for this thing to blow my mind. But it didn't. It's just a very nice, very well done, borderline perfect 3 3/4 inch Boba Fett. Sure, it doesn't have the little, like, computer screens on the chest. I do have the revised version with that, but I just kept it in the box. It's nice they revised it, but it's just kind of odd that it needed to be revised in the first place. Maybe that's a reason why it's, not higher, because it's not really perfect right out the box. But still, awesome figure. It just kind of wasn't as overwhelming as I was expecting it to be. I was just the moderate amount of whelmed, I guess. Next up, though, this was actually the surprise hit of the Marvel Legends Iron Man wave for me. Awesome wave. I could have put more figures from this wave on the list, but I usually like having more diversity in my lists. Ironheart actually turned out to be my favorite from that wave. I was really surprised. I thought about the Stealth Iron Man, and like, he's great, and I love it, but it's just a repaint of one that I've already had for a couple years. The modular armor is really good, but some of the joint tolerances were really off-putting and kind of made it not as fun to mess with. Ultron was great. I actually didn't review Ultron, but Ultron was amazing. But Ironheart, she's the one that stole the show for me. All new mold, super posable, double-jointed, and not double-jointed elbows. Actually, yeah, double-jointed elbows. Well, what am I thinking? She's got double-jointed elbows. They just kind of, you know, this one a little stuck, but yeah, she's got double-jointed elbows. She has a great unmasked helmet. I really like her helmet design, too. It's kind of odd, but it's definitely grown on me. It's so posable. It's so posable, man, and it has so much dynamicism to it. And it's so fun, man. Like, look at this. It's actually one of the Iron Man figures that, like, does a pretty decent ground pound. It's not perfect, of course, because I don't think she has enough torso articulation, but, I mean, if you mess with it a little bit more, you'll get a really good ground pound out of her. Like, you can see that's pretty much what it'll look like. She's stellar. Absolutely stellar. Kind of funny, there is not an Iron Man on this list. It's an Ironheart. But there is another Iron on this list. You'll have to wait and see. There is one more. And if you've seen my review of it, you probably already know what it is. But next up, this one is going to be quite the wild card. So, with these lists, I always like thinking of like the figures that give me the best first impression and the ones that blow my mind when I first get them. And this figure allowed me to relive the experience of walking in a toy aisle and seeing something so cool and so awesome looking, you get so excited to pick it up and think, I'm going to get this. And that is the Fortnite Cyclo. I know, it's a Fortnite figure. I've never played Fortnite. I don't care about the game. But this character design and this figure, when I saw this on the pegs, I can't imagine the excitement that, like, kids felt seeing this thing. And like, oh my gosh, this guy looks so awesome. Because, man, I was like, it was before my birthday, so I was like 22 years old seeing this thing. And going like, oh my gosh, this is like the coolest thing ever. And it kind of is. It is a 3 3/4 inch figure, so if you don't like the scale, you're not going to be the biggest fan of it. But still, he's got ankle rockers. He's fully posable. Probably his worst articulation is his elbows. They don't even bend 90 degrees. But other than that, man, he's got it all. He's got like all these Tesla coils on him. He's such an awesome design. He's got this clear plastic arm and clear head with like a storm brewing in the helmet. Like, is he even human? Or is he like literally a physical embodiment of lightning? Is he like an actual storm that's like contained in this suit that has like sentience to it? It's crazy. And man, like seeing toys like this and characters like this, one thing you got to give Fortnite, they design some awesome characters and they translate into amazing action figures. There was going to be a 6-inch version of him that was going to be released by Jazzwares. I don't know if that's ever really going to be a thing. I think it might be a thing, but it might be kind of canceled. I've never seen it available for order in the US. Who knows if I'll ever get it. Honestly, I can live with that one. That one holds the magic for me. That one is great. Next up, though, number 4. This figure actually caused oh my gosh. It caused a lot of and a bit of pain in my life. Battle Damaged Mandalorian from Vintage Collection. So, awesome figure, right? Awesome figure, but Walmart made it their mission to make it the biggest hassle to get this thing of all time. Of course, never made it to stores, at least not any of my local stores. It's a Walmart exclusive. You think you're ever going to see it in stores? Maybe once. Maybe one person will see it and buy them all up and put them on eBay. But Walmart, I did a whole rant video on this, canceled my pre-order, and then proceeded to sell them as in stock on their website while I was away at work. So basically, they took it out of my reserve to sell it to someone else. That's what they did. Good old Walmart. Ended up paying $30 for it on eBay. Because, man, that's what you gotta do sometimes. But you know what? It's one of my favorite figures of the year. Even though it had a very sour experience getting it. This and just the normal version. I decided for this version because I love the deco. I love the deco on it. The battle damage, and honestly, that likeness to Pedro Pascal, in my opinion, is perfect. It looks great. And I love this thing. Poses great, feels great, looks great. Definitely top tier material for me. But that's it with 3 3/4 inch. 3 3/4 inch had some pretty decent representation on this list. Honestly, this was a pretty decent year for the scale. But top 3 or 6 inch, because at the end of the day, 6 inch action figures are often the more fun to play with. And I'm happy to report the number 3 goes to ARC Trooper Echo. Oh, yes. Black Series Echo, let me tell you. So, Black Series did actually a lot of Clone Troopers this year. A lot of recolors. They did the Bad Batch, and I'm not that big of a fan of the Bad Batch to put them on my top 10. But let me tell you, Echo, though, this version of Echo, ARC Trooper Echo, this is an amazing 6 inch figure. I really hope they do 5s here soon. And I'm happy they're doing the Umbara Operative recolor of this. And they're doing so many recolors for Vintage Collection, too, of that Scales ARC Trooper. Man, it's so cool. It's an amazing figure. Definitely the best version of the new Clone Trooper mold, for sure. And I can't get enough of it. It's great. Definitely my top 3. But, number 2, this is another one that was quite the hassle to get. But thankfully, Target, Walmart did not right their wrong. But Target righted their wrong and made the Viper actually accessible. So it came out really early in the year, sold out instantly, super hard to find in stores, good luck ever owning it. But then Hasbro and Target were like, oh crap, this is only getting in the hands of scalpers that are selling it for $100 plus, this is not okay. And they actually made it available as a very hefty pre-order where you can pre-order it hassle-free and you'll get it. And I got it. I got the classified Viper. I'm very happy about that. It's still fairly easy to get. Like, it's not super expensive. It's not like $100 plus. You can probably find it for around $40. You know, that's not the worst. I mean, G.I. Joe Classified's been amazing this year. This is the only classified figure I got this year, though. I'm not too big into the line. I only get, favorites. I will be getting the Cobra Bat probably next week, which is exciting. And he'll probably already be a top 10 of 2022 for me. But yeah, man. Ooh, let me tell you. This Viper, awesome figure. I did do a review on this if you want to check it out because it is definitely something to behold. Definitely happy with that one. All right, last one. I had to do this with my pickups, and I'm doing it here. Let me raise the camera a bit. So, if you watched my review, you probably saw this coming. I was absolutely blown away with the Marvel Legends Ironmonger. And I think this is my favorite action figure of the year. Like non-1/6 scale, non-Transformers, this is my favorite. Absolute favorite out of this list. Is it in my top 3 of the year? Like counting 1/6 scale and all that? Probably not, because 1/6 scale always dominates, because those things are amazing. But this is definitely up there. Like you can see action figure wise, it's at the tippy top. Man, the pistons and the detail and these effect parts on the gun, and you get Obadiah with it, and this articulation, man. Like, look at this torso. Look at it. You can crunch his torso. You can tilt it side to side. So much head, expression, even though it's encapsulated in this little, dome here. He looks like a boobah. If you've ever seen a boobah, he kind of looks like a boobah. But he's still got some really good posability. And overall, man, definitely my top figure of the year. Hands down. So there we go. There's, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yep. There we go. There is my top 10 action figures of the year. Awesome stuff this year, man. This year was so good for action figures. I said it, I mentioned it in the other videos, and I'm going to end the last one here. 2021 was not a very good year. It continued the crap in the world, And for a lot of people, myself included, it was also personally a bit of a challenge. This year has definitely not been my best year. It definitely hasn't. But one nice thing, one saving grace, is that we have this hobby that we can escape to, we can enjoy, we can invest time in, we can, just think about this. It's like, oh man, this is some cool stuff, and have a bad day, you come home and you get Marvel Legends Ironmonger in the mail, and it just makes it a little bit better, So, 2021, awful year for the world, awful year for me personally, but let me tell you, the action figures were pretty great. And I am happy to send off 2021 and to go on to 2022, and hopefully the action figures will be better. The world will not be on fire anymore, or at least the fire will kind of dissipate. It's been a challenge for all of us. I don't think anyone can really say, oh man, these past couple years have been some of the best years of my life. No. It's been a mess. But the action figures have been pretty great. So there we go, guys. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope 2021 didn't beat you into submission. I hope it wasn't the worst year for you personally and all that. And I hope the action figures are pretty good to you. And let's hope for the best for 2022, because we all need it, figure-wise and personally, and for the world. Let's just hope. Let's hope that it'll get better, because I think we're all tired of the crap. Thank you all so much for watching, guys. Special shout out to the patrons at Patreon. Thank you so much for the continued support. I really appreciate it. Alrighty, and there we go. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good one, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.